tell you, stuff is just getting crazier and crazier and crazier. Strobe Talbot, the former editor of Newsweek, or was it Time Magazine, who worked for Clinton in the State Department, who said that, world government needs to replace the United States and that socialism needs to replace it. You can read his quotes online. He used to write about it in the magazine. He's come out and blamed Russia for shooting down the commercial airliner, saying that one of the separatist leaders took credit without giving proof. I always love is when he puts a tweet out. It'd be like if I put an article out, all he does is just put some text up there, claiming that the separatists admit that they did it and it was a mistake. I'll guarantee you if the Russian separatists did that, they wouldn't be telling you they did it and it was a mistake. I mean, that is ridiculous. And again, if it comes out Russia did it, then Russia will say that. Then I believe it. But, I just don't believe anything out of George Soros and Strobe Talbot. What do you think? I know that the comments on the website and the stuff I see on Twitter, no one is buying this. And it's the same make and model, they're saying, as the other Malaysian missing plane. So is it like Northwoods? I'm not saying this. People are saying this. Where they talked about having one plane where everybody gets on with the same make and model and tail number, and then they get off somewhere else, and then later you blow up the other plane. And that's why you've got to disappear the other plane, because you really don't want to shoot down a bunch of innocent people. You just blow it up by remote control as a drone and say that somebody else did it. And again, that's ABC News, Baltimore Sun, April 2001. Look up Operation Northwoods, click web on the Google link, and you will see articles from 2001 before 9/11 about a Pentagon plan to stage a shoot down of an airplane and replace it with another one. And we know about Diego Garcia. We know about the Indian Ocean. We know about all of it. And this plane has stunk from the beginning. There's clearly been a cover-up. The official story hasn't held. And just something smells bad. Out of all the planes that could get shot down, it's this one. Did they just fly a drone over there, blow it up? We know our government's got all sorts of deals with the Malaysian government in black ops. This really stinks, ladies and gentlemen. And before Time Magazine and Newsweek and the New York Times come out and say that I'm saying this, I'm saying it's an official U.S. government plan, and so we should look at it. In fact, they found the article. There it is, ABC News. U.S. military wanted to provoke war with Cuba. May 1st, 2001. I said April. I think the original article was like April 31st. But regardless, my memory's pretty good. I was one day off. In early night, back then they would put stuff on the web the next day. I think that's what that was. Here, put it back up. I know the newscast is from April 31st, but it doesn't matter because there's the article, see? In the early 1960s, America's top military leaders reportedly drafted plans to kill innocent people and commit acts of terrorism in U.S. cities to get public support for a war against Cuba. Codenamed Operation Northwoods, the plans reportedly included the possible assassination of Cuban immigrants, sinking boats on Cuban refugees on the high seas, hijacking planes, blowing up a U.S. ship, and even orchestrating violent terrorism in U.S. cities. Yeah, shooting up movie theaters, plastic bombs at public events, plastic explosive, plastique. You can go read Northwoods. It's like 12 pages long. Go read it. And I'm telling you, the globalists never do anything new. They just repeat plans. And they did a lot of stuff in Northwoods in Europe under Gladio and under the NATO option. So, we ought to get Pachenik on. I have no idea what he'll be saying. I'm sure it's interesting. From the water table to our soils to the atmosphere itself, our world is becoming more and more toxic each and every day. But it's not just the air outside that's toxic. Indoor air has been shown to have 2 to 5 times higher concentrations of pollutants than even outdoor air. And and most Americans spend 90% of their time inside using toxic chemicals within their homes. There are more than 42 million smokers in the United States. Well over 1,000 types of mold and mildew linked to numerous conditions. And don't forget the fact that 6 million Americans live with pets they're allergic to as well. When I began to research these statistics, it was clear to me it was time to start cleansing my lungs in order to combat the toxic environment that we cannot escape, but that we can fight back against. Made with organic and wild cultivated herbs and manufactured in the USA. The new InfoWars Life Lung Cleanse is here in a convenient spray bottle that can be brought with you throughout any toxic environment. Now available exclusively at InfoWarsLife.com or by calling toll-free 888-253-3139.
Hey, now you can watch the Alex Jones Show live as it happens at Infowars.com/show.
We have a Malaysian Airliner 777, if you can believe it, shot down 50 miles inside Ukraine over Crimea, and within minutes of it happening a few hours ago, the government of Ukraine was already blaming the Russians with no proof. And then we now have Strobe Talbot, big globalist, Zygmunt Brzezinski type, sworn to world government, sworn to socialism, just search engine his name is his writings, coming out and claiming that someone, you know, on Twitter or whatever, claiming to be some opposition person says they did it. Yeah, I heard Alex said he did it too. Or, again, very suspicious that they're putting the narrative out right up front. How did Dick Cheney want to start war back in 2007 with Iran? Cy Hirsch got the documents, talked to the officials. They wanted to have Navy SEALs attack U.S. ships in the Strait of Hormuz, but they said no. And reportedly Bush said no. Pretty powerful stuff, ladies and gentlemen. Cy Hirsch has also said that the bin Laden death was fake and staged. Of course, we said that very early on. It was clear it was. Navy SEALs, families we've talked to say that. The SEALs know it was fake. That's why they killed almost everyone who was on the raid of the bin Laden lookalike. It's just amazing. I don't know the truth. Maybe the Russians did do it. I mean, it's a war zone. Russia has said they're going to counterstrike, but it wouldn't be blowing up some other country's airliner in broad daylight at 33,000 feet. And then the big story, U.S. Army training to fight black Americans, actual video up on Infowars.com. I shot a 20-minute overdrive, almost 30-minute special report last night that aired after the nightly news. The news is always 30 minutes long, but when it's extended, when the main news ends, some stations are already carrying, not just affiliate, PrisonPlanet.tv viewers. We then go into, for just online viewers, an extra expanded overdrive, and we did a very important breakdown of this. It's regular Army training, battling black people in the drills. And I made a big deal about it when we saw some of this training a few years ago where it was only white people. So they're just training to attack certain ethnic groups. And again, we're not demonizing the military even here. They don't like what's going on. They're freaking out. Joe Biggs talks about it. It's a very powerful breakdown. We heard large excerpts of it in the first hour today. Also, the Israeli military denies targeting children, slammed for not having the courage to talk to Hamas. That's out of Zero Hedge. Yeah, Israel's making big mistakes when they kill 5 teenagers playing soccer on a coast at the beach and then, basically don't say it was, collateral damage. It was a mistake. That happens in war. And I'm not excusing it, but just saying, hey, we're under attack. We're fighting back. Big deal. That's loses moral high ground there. Again, I just want peace over there, folks. I don't dislike the Israelis or the Palestinians or anybody. But I'm fighting to keep my country free. And it is just a tragedy to see what's happening. But you know what? I've got to say it's probably a 20, 30, 40 times bigger event with ISIS being run by NATO, running around murdering Christians and non-radical Muslims all over the Middle East. And our government is funding and running that. And I don't know why all these trendies out there that want to scream about Israel all day and say that, if you fall in a banana peel, Israel did it. There's other stuff going on, too. I'm concerned about it all. But there's this cause celeb thing with the left that's only about Palestinians or only about Israel. You know, the whole pro-Israel crowd's a very diverse group, but, you know, if you don't agree with anything, you know, I mean, everything they say, you're an anti-Semite. I mean, I'm just so sick of the whole thing. Aren't you sick of it? Don't you wish they could all just get along like Rodney King said? But again, it's that balkanization.
You are watching the best of the Alex Jones Show, weekdays from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Central. Watch live at Infowars.com/show or become a member of InfoWarsNews.com and help us take resistance to the next level.